All right, Rock Addicts, this is DJ REM from Rock Addict Radio, and I have A Wanted Awakening on the line. How you doing, man?
Doing good, brother. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for taking the time to call in. I totally appreciate it.
Yeah, man, my pleasure.
After Clawhammer sent me your tracks to preview, and I was like, oh my god, this band rocks. So I'm like, I got to talk to these guys, so here we are.
That's awesome. I appreciate it, brother.
Yep, I've been getting you pretty much every show I do. I throw you guys on, and I'm pretty sure I have you in our 24 stream as well. So,
oh, cool. That's awesome.
Trying to get you the airplay. You guys hopefully help you out a little bit. So.
Yeah, man. Hey, we take what we can get. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's rough out there.
Okay, so let's start. If you can introduce yourself and the other members of the band, and just kind of mention what everybody's spots are.
Sure. I'm Jason York. I'm the bass player, one of the original founders of the band. We also have, I'm the only one here right now, but the other guys are John Tree, who plays guitar, writes a lot of the stuff, does clean vocals. We have Derek St. Martin, who plays lead mostly. Andre Bedard, who's our drummer, and then Caitlin Susi, who's our screamer.
Very cool. And then how long have you guys been together as a band now?
Well, the band originally, we kind of formed out of another band that started in like 2002, but that really developed into something different once we got John and our old drummer Evan, and the original founder of the band, Rick, switched to just doing vocals and not doing guitar anymore. So that was around 2005. So we've been doing kind of this band since then, and we added Derek like a year later, 2 years later actually, and then Caitlin just came into the band a couple months ago, and Andre came into the band back in March. So we've gone through a couple different lineup changes, but this is definitely the strongest group of people that we've had doing A Wanted Awakening since we started.
Very cool. And what do you guys have going on right now? What, do you guys have like some live shows and stuff lined up?
Well, it's kind of a big to do, I guess. But we actually left last week for what was going to be a month tour, going out kind of west to Chicago area, and then down to Texas and out to Arizona, and then kind of back up the East Coast. But we got out to Chicago, played the first night, it was awesome, and then got a call saying that our Saturday show was canceled, and then got a call a little later saying our Sunday show was canceled, and so then we were looking at a week off, so we picked up a couple other gigs in Chicago on our own, and then we started calling around to all the gigs that our booking agent had planned out for the month, and 2/3 of them had never heard of us and didn't expect us to be coming or anything like that. So all of a sudden, we're out in Chicago last week with 2 weeks of no shows, trying to figure out if we're going to try and just fill in the dates ourselves or what, and if we could just live without having any shows or anything, and decided that it didn't make sense to just try and do that, not being able to get guarantees and whatever, just filling in shows on our own last minute. So we came back to Mass, and we're going back out for a week of confirmed dates at the end of the month at this point. So it's been a crazy couple weeks, past couple weeks.
Yeah, it has. That kind of sucks. Sorry about that, but sounds like you'll get her straightened out. So. Yeah,
we're working it out now.
So when you guys aren't on the road and doing shows and stuff, how often are you guys able to get together and practice? And I guess how often do you need to practice?
We used to practice 3 days a week for 4 or 5 hours at a time up until like September. And the tour we were actually originally slated to do in September, it got moved back to October, then eventually got moved back to November. But we've been doing like either 2 or 3 shows a weekend for all those weeks kind of in between. So, we played 10 or 11 shows in September and like another 10 shows in October. So we actually haven't been practicing at all for the past couple months just because we've been playing so many shows.
Right, exactly.
We're tighter now than we were when we were practicing 3 days a week. So
Okay, so I'd like to talk a little bit about the album. What, where did you guys record this latest album, Catharsis, at?
Yeah, there was actually I actually did all the recording and mixing and everything. I'm just in the process of finishing up my master's in sound recording, so I used it as my final thesis project.
Awesome.
Which was really sweet. I was going to UMass Lowell, which has a great recording facility over there. So, I got to use a multi-million-dollar studio for nothing. Well, I mean, tuition, I guess, which is expensive. But
right.
As far as band expense, it didn't cost us anything. We did get it. We got it mastered over at M-Works down in Cambridge by a really great guy who's done a ton of big-time records like Aerosmith and AC/DC and all kinds of good stuff. So we dropped some coin on that, and he really he made it shine. But yeah, we did the whole thing ourselves from December through May, and then released it at the end of June.
Very cool. How long did it take you to write the album before you went to the studio?
Well, we had actually done we did an EP the year before, which had 5 songs on it, and the same 5 songs are on Catharsis, as well as 5 new songs. So we pretty much wrote the first 5 2 years ago, and then the last 5 we wrote from April of last year to December of last year.
Okay.
So I guess 2 years all in all.
Okay, nice. So I have to ask you, the album cover is amazing. Who designed that for you, and who came up with the idea?
Well, we came up with the album name, and we worked with a guy named Hal Rotter of Rotting Graphics, who did an awesome job for us, and it was pretty cheap too. He's he's kind of new in the art scene, so he wasn't charging us all that much. So we pretty much gave him free reign. We were like, this is the kind of concept as far as what the album means to us. So why don't you come up with a graphic for it? And then we went kind of back and forth with him over the period of a month. Tweaking things, adding things here and there, and kind of shaping it to what it came out to be. But originally it was his inspiration, and we just kind of tailored it to what we thought it could be, the best that it could be.
Yeah, nice. And I appreciate it so much when bands put some time and effort into the cover, and it's just not, and I say this a lot, but when it's not just a picture of the band on the cover, there's actually, the music itself is artwork, so the cover should kind of reflect that.
Yep, exactly, and we that's why we gave him kind of free rein to do it, because we wanted just to see, we wanted the music to inspire art, being art itself, so we just wanted to see how it influenced him and where it brought his mind and kind of his vision, and it worked out really well. We were super pleased with how it came out.
Very good. So we're going to kind of switch gears and kind of talk about you here for a minute. What were your influences growing up? What kind of music did you listen to, and what made you want to do this?
It's a long list, but it started with Metallica. Back in the day, as a lot of metalheads did. I was a huge, as a bass player, I was a huge Cliff Burton fan. He was, my first and strongest influence as far as, what kind of voice the bass could have and what he brought compositionally to, those first 3 Metallica records. So that really started me down the path. And then the biggest change I had was when I heard The Jester's Race by In Flames. Back in I think it came out in 92 or 93 or something, but I heard it 95, I think, 96. And that was the most melodically, instrumentally beautiful album that I'd ever heard, combined with straight, brutal screaming as far as the vocals go, no clean singing. But, it really drew me to it because of the instrumental brilliance of it, and I can still to this day sing all the guitar parts when I put it on. I know all the harmonies and everything, and that's to me what makes a great album. A lot of the deathcore and gent stuff that's out now is cool. I really dig the rhythmic aspects of it, but it just doesn't have that hook for me. So then after that, the next big thing was Kill Switch. When I heard Alive or Just Breathing, that album was just unbelievable. I actually saw them before I heard the album with In Flames down in Jersey, and they were, the opening act, whatever, when they were on their first tour with Howard, and it just blew my mind. It was so powerful, and the riffs were great, and the lyrics, that's what metal lyrics to me, my dream of metal lyrics should be. Where it's empowering, and it's not hate filled and not trying to bring everybody down, but not cheesy and happy hardcore kind of stuff, but just really inspiring, power of the person kind of lyrics. So that really kind of pushed me to want to write music and create my own thing, which fortunately I found some guys to do that with. That I'm really happy with kind of the direction and sound that we have going on.
Yeah, I definitely can tell. Like I said, you guys. I really think you guys shred. So keep doing what you're doing, please.
Thanks, man. We'll keep it up.
Very good. Okay, so how'd you guys come up with the name for the band? How'd you come up with that?
It was actually originally going to be, and was Atlas Dying that the former vocalist came up with, who started the band, and A Wanted Awakening was going to be an album name actually for us, and we kind of decided that, like I said, when we got the new guitar player and drummer, that the sound really changed, and we needed to just kind of make a fresh start, and we decided that was the best name that we had coming forward, and was really inspired by our feeling of that there's always something more on the horizon, and that we wanted. You always want that. You're always looking forward to like a moment where life changes, and for the better, and you're always trying to try and get to that moment, so that the Unwanted Awakening is something that that is deep and meaningful to you, that you're looking forward to, and maybe the music can be that for you.
Right, exactly. Speaking of what the music can be for people, where's the best place for people to go to listen and preview tracks and to download and buy if they like?
Sure, yeah. I mean, we're all over the place. You can go and listen to them for free either on our Facebook. There's a Reverb Nation app on there that you can listen to stuff, or you can go to, which is the Facebook is just, facebook.com/A Wanted Awakening, or you can go to our Bandcamp, which is www.awantedawakening.bandcamp.com. And if you like what you hear, you can go to iTunes or Amazon or CD Baby or any of the big outlets, and you can buy hard copies or digital copies or whatever you like.
Okay, and do you have merchandise for sale, like T-shirts and stuff too?
Yep. We have a couple shirts, a hoodie, some stickers, and CD and all that stuff on either Big Cartel, which again is just Big Cartel/Wanted Awakening, or Store Envy, which I think is the same thing, Store Envy/Wanted Awakening. You can find all that stuff on there.
Okay, well, everybody listening to this interview, if you dig these guys, I encourage you to buy their music, buy their merchandise, because what they do is not free. It costs them money to keep producing music like they do. So help them out.
Indeed. And if you want to come see us, you can check our Facebook page and see where we're playing next. And if you want to book us, just send us an email or get a hold of us on Facebook, and we'll be happy to come play anywhere.
Well, on that note, I have a friend that's a booking agent in Kalamazoo, Michigan, so if you guys ever come close, let me know. I can hook you up. Oh,
sweet. Yeah, for sure. Sure. Like I said, we're going back out in the week, and we're still trying to fill in the last few dates, so we'll see if maybe we can work something out. Yeah,
I'll tell you what I'll do is after this interview, I'll send you his link and stuff, and because he's got a bunch of dates available right now.
Awesome. That'd be great, man.
So I'll hook you up with that after the interview.
Cool.
So if I grabbed, this question's for you specifically, if I grabbed your iPod or your MP3 player, however you like to listen to music, what would I find you listening to today?
What was I listening to earlier today? I was listening to some Mars Volta earlier today. The little Duras in the Crematorium. That's really cool. It's proggy. It's kind of all over the place instrumentally. Pretty badass, as well as vocally ridiculous. I think my current new big favorite band is probably Periphery. You know, I saw them at when we played Metal the Summer Slaughter over the summer.
Nice.
And those guys, they played the best live set I think I've ever seen. It was unbelievable. And Spencer, the vocalist, just absolutely killed it and completely reproduced what he does on the album live, which I was blown away with. Also, like Between the Buried and Me, you know, my Colors is like one of the best albums I've ever heard, and that's always in rotation. Actually, when I first got the album, I think I listened to it every morning when I was getting ready for work for like 4 months straight, to the point where my roommates wanted to kill me because I was just playing that every single day, trying to wrap my head around it. Yeah, and I'm actually on the lighter side. I'm big into kind of indie production, just because of the recording aspect of my interest. So I'm big into kind of like the Mumford and Son, that kind of vibe that's going on right now.
Right.
Yeah, so kind of all over the place.
Very cool. Very cool. So, where do you guys hope to how do I say this? Where do you guys hope to be in a couple years? Like, what are your goals for what's the goals for the band?
Well, we've been pushing towards this big tour for a while, and we kind of had a little setback with that. But that's the goal, is to try and get kind of an indie tour under our belt, and really put ourselves out there and try and make that financially feasible and able to be successful, and then hopefully attract the interest of a bigger booking agent that can get us on the road with some reputable bands and stuff. And we'd like to be touring 9 or 10 months out of the year, and make another album in the next year or so, with our new vocalist, and our new drummer, actually, neither of which we've gotten to make an album with yet. So I kind of want to follow that path and see where it takes us, musically as well as physically across the country, and see if we can make that work.
Right. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. I hope it works out for you.
Thanks, man. I'll take all the luck we can get.
That's right. It's a lot of hard work and a little bit of luck that make it all happen,
Yep, that's it.
So when you guys aren't, doing tours with shows and stuff and practicing, what do you like to do to just relax and unwind? You got any hobbies you like to do to just kind of chill?
Sure, yeah. I love reading. I'm actually reading The Stand right now by Stephen King, which is one of the classics that I somehow managed to skip over in my journey through the King world. We also like to play a lot of video games. Big first user, as well as a couple of guys like World of Warcraft, and that kind of RPG kind of game, that stuff. We love comedy, and listening to, we probably listen to as many stand-up specials on the road as we do music. Love to laugh and have a good time. One of the guys, Derek, is a huge health freak, so he loves working out and getting stressed out that way. But we all like to stay in pretty good shape, and especially on the road, you're not working out, you're just eating crappy and getting fat. So
right, exactly.
You got to maintain and look good for the fans.
Yep. Definitely. Okay, so what sets you guys apart from all the other bands out there? Why should people come to your shows? Why should they listen to your music?
Well, those are two different questions. I think the music, there's nothing out there that's new at this point anymore, really. Music's been around for hundreds of years, and everything is kind of derivative at this point, all coming from other things, which is cool, But I think that we have a unique combination of elements of metal that nobody else is really doing right now. We try and pretty much, the way it came down, it wasn't any grand scheme or grand plan. It was basically us saying, well, there's 5 of us, and we all like different aspects of different kinds of metal. So let's try and take all the things that we each individually like, and see if we can put them all into an album, And We didn't get all of them in there, but I think we got a lot of them. From all the proggy aspects to the gent aspects to the deathcore to some thrash stuff. There's just a lot of different kinds of metal going on in our album, and I think that's I don't know if it's 100% successful 100% of the time, but we're all really happy that we hear what we love in it, and hopefully there's something in there for everybody else. So that's the music part of it. The live show is really cool. We love to have a great time. We're very grateful to people when they come out and see us and they have a good time. We're very down to earth, just happy to be playing for people kind of guys. And we no matter if there's 5 people there or 500 people there, we put on the same show every time. We throw down just as hard as we can every time and try and leave it all out on the stage and try and give everybody as much as we can every time. So if you come out and see us, you won't be left kind of standing still. You'll have a fun show to watch, and hopefully you'll feel what's going on and get into it with us.
Okay, very good. And then speaking of live shows, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you guys at a live show?
Craziest thing that's happened to us. We had a show a couple months ago down in Maryland that had 7 or 8 bands on it. We're a Jaeger-sponsored band, so we have a bunch of Jaeger merchandise that if you buy us a shot, then you can have a T-shirt or a hat or a keychain or whatever we got, kind of thing, whatever you want. So that's always a good time. But this particular bar, we always let the bar know that we're a Jaeger band and there's going to be a lot of shots, so they chilled a bunch of bottles of Jaeger to get ready for the night. But the bartender, 2 bartenders, girl and a guy, they were dating each other at the time, and probably fairly recently, because they were pretty physical with each other up at the bar. And over the course of the night, we probably, between the band and the bands and the fans and the bartenders, we probably put down 3 or 4 bottles of Jaeger. So for every time that the bands or the fans were buying shots, the bartenders were taking shots with them. So it got a little crazy, and the bartender had some breast implants that she was very happy to show off. The boyfriend was very happy for her to show off. So we started playing at his request. Started playing beer pong in her cleavage to get her to take her top off. and being that everyone was pretty drunk, it took a little while. But she was, showing us little sneak peeks and stuff. And finally, somebody made it in his shirt that he was holding out in the background. So she took her shirt off and then started making out with some friend of hers who also took her shirt off. And then the guy took his shirt off, and it got a little out of control. Nice. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was funny.
No, it's definitely, at least for a good experience, good stories.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so this next question is the most important question I'm going to ask you today.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
I'm scared.
Who spends the most time in front of the mirror getting ready for a show?
That's funny. It's probably our chick, because she has to do her makeup, our singer Caitlin. But it's not much more. She's not a girly girl. She's definitely, she's a pretty girl, but she's not like a girly girl.
Gotcha.
She hung out camping out with us for the week while we were on the road and didn't complain, didn't whine, nothing like that. But she does have to look good when she's up there, so probably her, I guess.
Okay, that's cool. Hopefully she'll agree with that when she hears.
Yeah. But I just hope she's not mad.
Yeah, it's all in good fun, right?
Well, she's trying to. She takes a lot of pride in her vocals, and the past couple months we've actually seen a bunch of bands that had chick screamers up front, and we met someone who for the first time was really of her like mind, where she really doesn't want to use her sexuality to gain popularity and get in front of more people. She really wants it to be carried on the skill and the strength that she has. And
right, exactly.
Yeah, which is not the typical way that the chick vocalists go, like, in this moment, or even Walls of Jericho, or
right.
I mean, Arch Enemy, she's Angela's on her own. She's definitely a badass and does her own thing, but she's super sexy too. So she's kind of got the best of both worlds, I guess. But yeah, so she really she doesn't dress slutty when she's up on stage, and doesn't try to be overly girly and all that. And you would never know from her screams that she is a chick. She's just a badass screamer who happens to have breasts. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay, cool, man. All right. Anything else you would like to tell the world, anybody that's going to listen to this interview, that I haven't asked you?
I guess the only thing I'd say is, we're always on social media, on Twitter. You can find all of our links on Twitter from our Facebook or anything like that. We try and put up a lot of just personal videos and stuff. And so, if you're interested, you want to see kind of more what we're all about, check out the music, check out our social media stuff, and give us a like, give us a listen, and, chat with us. And we'd love to talk to you and find out who you guys are and where you're from and what you like, what you don't like, and what you had for dinner last night. So get a hold of us.
Okay, very cool. And I, as a fan too, I really appreciate bands that, when I post on their page, they actually respond to you. So that's cool. It gives you a good connection with the fans.
That's what it's all about, man. We're not. We write the music for ourselves, but then we play it out there for people. You know what I mean? So
right.
That's why we're there. That's why we do what we do.
Okay, very cool, man. One last thing to ask you before I let you go for the day. I would love a couple of radio tags if you don't mind.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So you can just say your name and, from A Wanted Awakening, and, that you're listening to rockaddictradio.com.
Okay. This is Jason York from A Wanted Awakening, and you're listening to rockaddictradio.com. Perfect.
And then the second one, if you can do the exact same thing, but just add in there that you're listening to DJ REM at Rock Addict Radio.
Okay. This is Jason York from A Wanted Awakening, and you're listening to DJ REM at rockaddictradio.com.
Yeah, very cool, dude. Totally appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. And like I said, I'll send you that. I'll private message you on Facebook to your guys' band page that that guy I was telling you about. So
perfect. Sounds great, Spencer. I appreciate your time, man.
Yep, no problem. You wish you guys the best of luck. Make sure you tell the whole band I said hello, please.
Absolutely.
And I'll talk to you again.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Yeah, you too. Take care. Bye.
Bye.